He also integrates environmental, social, and governance and public-private partnership advisory into his practice, making him a versatile contributor to complex development projects. Without further ado, let's welcome architect Yomi Williams, our distinguished and highly esteemed speaker, to take the floor. Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir.
Oh, thank you very much, Architect John. Firstly, I would like to appreciate the president and the management of ANCA for this opportunity. I think it's a very great privilege to me to present this paper. And I also want to thank Architect Moduri, who initiated this idea. I appreciate your initiative, sir. Also, the audience online, I want to appreciate you for being here, for sacrificing your time to be part of this program. I can see some of my mentors and fathers online. Architect Dr. Jola Osho, I greet you, sir. Architect Nebaba, I salute you, sir. Without further ado, let's go into the business of today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it too.
Please kindly confirm if you can see my slide. And if you can hear me too.
Yes. Yes, we confirm we can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you very much. You could just make an adjustment to your slide, Architect Show me. Maybe expand it.
Okay.
Yes, please.
How is it now? Up is more legible?
Yes, better now. Thank you so much.
It's better now.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, our topic for discussion today is the architect as development strategist, redefining professional value in Nigeria from design to decision, integrating feasibility, business case, and financial intelligence into architectural practice. This session has 5 modules. Module 1 focuses on the strategic shift in architecture. 2, feasibility in architectural practice. 3, understanding the business case. 4, financial intelligence for architects. Then 5, practice integration. So we shall be looking at all these modules in 40 minutes. To start with, this session or this training focuses on commercial real estate. Commercial real estate refers to property, including land and buildings, used exclusively for income-producing, business-related purposes. I want my audience to note that. Common examples include site and services schemes, office buildings, retail centers, industrial warehouses, and apartment complexes. Now, I want to ask a question, which I want to throw to the audience, my lovely audience. I know it's only architects that we have online, but I will be mentioning architects. Please permit me to do so. As architect, can you remember the number of preliminary designs you have done for commercial projects that did not proceed to the working drawing stage, or were not built after the preparation of working drawings? Can I get a response in the chat box? Any response? Okay, we go ahead. Now, the issue is that most times as architects...
Architects, show me their responses.
Oh, I can't...
Check your chat box.
Okay, my chat box, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so the issue is that we architects, our focus over the years, due to our highly detailed training in school, our focus has been on having a very fantastic design concept, unique form. But what we fail to realize is that those fantastic forms does not equate to profit, which is the goal of the developer. Then secondly, our fees, we are not paid or partially paid after so much work. After investing time in drawings, doing designs, everything, fees not paid. And why is it so? Because most times, those projects that we have done designs on, they are not viable. So to the client or to the developer, they feel it's better I reduce my risk by not paying the consultants on this project. Then clients often complain of funding for projects too, which most times as architects, we just feel, come, it's not part of my job. I'm trained to design a building, I've done that, and we leave that to the client. And as such, the project is not bankable. And everything ends on the drawing board or on the drawings submitted. Now, going ahead, I want us to look at commercial project insights. I hope you can see the screen. We have two buildings here, buildings A and B. Building A, which is a 10-floor block of flats, 20 number luxury 4-bedroom flat in Ikoyi, Lagos. We have the metrics, the financial metrics, valued at 4 billion, development cost 2 billion, net profit 2 billion, rent 400 million per year. It's as seen on the screen. The second building, King's Towers. Now, these two buildings, looking at it, as an architect or investor, which of these two buildings are you likely to invest in? And what are your reasons for the decision? Can I get a response from the audience? Any response? Building A and B, as an architect or as an investor, which of these two will you prefer? Please go to the chat box. Oh, someone says building A. Okay. No reason stated. That's fine. Building A. Wow. I think a lot of people are going for building A. I'm suspecting that the people selecting building A, they seem not to be architects, because building B looks more beautiful, looks more elegant than A in terms of aesthetics. Oh, someone says building B. Okay, let's go ahead. The essence of this slide is that for an investor, their focus is on what they get from the building, which is the return on investment, and not the form. So a rational investor will go for building A because building A seems to be juicy, seems to be very attractive to investors, while building B has no information about the investment attractiveness. So from the point of view of an investor, they can get this information, they can see this information on A and go for A. But for B, they will need to go and investigate to know whether it's really worth it or not. So that's the essence of this slide on commercial insight. So we go to the next slide now. Still on Get Insight. These are two buildings. This building is called King's Tower. It's a 15-story mixed-use development in Ikoyi. B1, B2 is same building. They have the same gross floor area of 15,000 square meters. But B1 has a lettable space of 12,000 square meters, while B2, lettable space of 10,500 square meters. Same rent of $700 paid, excluding service charge, per square meter. So as an architect or investor, which of these two buildings are you likely to invest in? And what are your reasons for this decision? Please, I need your response. I need your response in the chat box. They are identical buildings, same specifications, same construction cost, same floor area. So which of these two will you go for? In your response, please. Chat box.
The response is in the chat box.
B1, I can see. B1, B1, B1. Lost count. Okay. Oh, okay, Dr. Jarela, so I can see your response. Lost count of projects you've done without moving ahead. Yes, that's the reality, sir. So many.
There's an attendee that says B1 because of the lettable space. There is more lettable space area.
Okay. Yes, you're right. B1 has more lettable spaces than B2. And because it has more lettable spaces, this is the effect. This is just the effect. Now, if we assume a 10% yield because it's a grade A office space and annual outgoings of 20%, the capital value, meaning the amount an investor can buy B1, is about 92.7 billion for B1. While for B2, they will buy it at 81.1. The same building, same construction cost, but one is more valuable than the other. Now, B1 has 1,500 square meters extra lettable space over B2. So because of the extra 1,500 space, it has increased the value of B1 by 11.6 billion. Conversely, B2 is 10% inefficient. And that inefficiency in B2 has led to a loss of 11.6 billion. So from this analysis, we can see how important efficiency is to the value of the property. So with this, we go into the class for today. Module 1, which is the strategic shift in architecture. We shall be looking at the evolution of architects' role in Nigeria, why financial literacy is now a professional necessity, then from design consultants to development strategists. So evolution of architects' role. This comes in 3 phases. At the phase 1, which is the colonial and early post-independence period, architect then was seen as the master builder. And that's the sort of training we had in school, architect master builder. And then it was public sector driven projects, and there was high professional authority. In phase 2, that's the oil boom to the early 2000s, we had private sector expansion, and there was emergence of developer-led projects, as well as a gradual fee pressure. Now, this leads to the current phase that we are, which is the phase 3, which is the contemporary market. Now, the contemporary market now is an investor-driven development. We have financial institutions influencing project scope. And as such, architects, they often engage after feasibility decisions are taken. Let me say this. A lot of developments, in fact, large-scale developments are being funded by institutional investors, which includes insurance companies, the PFAs, because they have that large pool of funds and they need to invest. So these organizations, before they put their money, they ensure that the project gives adequate return on investment in line with their risk appetite and in line with their targeted return on investment. So the key insight here is that the architect's influence has moved downstream in the value chain. In phase 1, architect was seen as the master builder, had control, but in phase 3 now, architect has lost control. Why? Because before people put in their money, somebody would have done an investment appraisal to know whether the project is viable, and is that person that will call the shots and will decide every other person that will come on board the project. So why financial literacy? It's now a professional necessity. Is that today's commercial real estate or projects, they are driven by return on investment, your cash flow timing, cost volatility, risk allocation, and absorption rates. Absorption rate refers to the speed at which a property or a development is sold or let out. So the higher the absorption rate, it simply means it helps your cash flow, and it also helps in the timing too. So as architects, if we can't speak this language that investors want to hear, it means we'll lose influence. So the strong statement here is that creativity without financial literacy, it reduces strategic authority. So from design consultant, development strategy, this talks about the strategic repositioning of architects. From being a drawing producer, compliance professional with building codes, development and environmental laws, and aesthetic advisor, to a development advisor, to a risk interpreter, to an investment aware designer, and to a value optimization strategist. Honestly, this strategic repositioning is where the architects can make their money now. We all know that traditionally now, people don't really want to pay for professional services when it comes to drawing. They don't really add value to it. They don't value our work. But when you cross to this strategic position, at that juncture, all the money you should have made from drawing, you make everything in addition to other things. So module 2 now, we shall be looking at the feasibility in architectural practice, and we shall be looking at 3 things: market, technical, legal, and financial feasibility. 2, highest and best use analysis. 3, yield and necessity optimization. So we shall be looking at it one by one. So market, technical, and legal financial feasibility. Feasibility is a structured evaluation of whether a project can work, and it has 4 pillars. We have the market feasibility, technical feasibility, legal feasibility, financial feasibility. Now, these 4 pillars, kindly note, are tied to the location of the site. What this even means is that these 4 pillars, they vary with the geography of the site. So the pillars that you have in Lagos would work in Ogun State. Also within Lagos, the pillars that you have on the mainland can't work on the island. So it is geography based. So let's quickly look at the pillars. 1, market feasibility. I need to say this: for commercial projects, most times we always assume we are the users as architects, but it's not so. It's important that we identify the market, because it's a market that wants to use or buy the property. So you need to understand them, understand their lifestyle, understand where the market is coming from, and understand the affordability, what the market can afford, the sort of work they are doing, how they are getting their money. If the market is getting its money on a monthly basis, you can't sell a product that requires that you need to pay on a weekly basis. The market won't be able to afford it. So we need to understand the market. So under the market feasibility, demand analysis, we need to know, okay, the demand for the units or for the services. It's really important, because the demand would support the absorption rate, which I discussed earlier. Then comparable projects. Comparable projects is really important, because comparable project provides a kind of benchmark, for pricing, benchmark for the sort of offerings, the features, the facilities you provide that will make your product or your development competitive. Then pricing benchmarks, absorption rates, demographic targeting. Our role as architect is that we need to advise our clients on the unit mix, on density decisions, in compliance with development order, then our product positioning. This product positioning, most times you go to several housing estates, you discover that a lot of them, they are just similar. You can't really picture or see the difference between one estate and the other. So product positioning helps you to have a kind of competitive advantage in your product. I leave that to the next pillar, which is technical feasibility. Under this, we look at site constraints. Site constraints include topography, then nuisances. Nuisances can be visual, it can be auditory, and it can be olfactory. That's relating to smell. So all this, we need to consider that. Design and cost implication too has to be considered. The soil conditions, the nature, the water table, all these, they have implication on the cost. Then infrastructure capacity. You need to assess whether the existing utilities can support what you want to do, can support the proposed development. If not, we look for alternative land that can support it. Then water supply, the sewage, telecommunication services, efficiency ratio, buildability. So if your core designs affects your sellable area, like for instance, if 5% efficiency loss in your core design will impact on your revenue. On legal feasibility, which is pillar 3, we look at the zoning, the height restriction, setback, title risk, planning approval. Our job here as architects is that we must test the regulatory envelope before concept designs. I'm sure we are all familiar with this, that as at your conceptual stage, anything you are doing should align with planning regulations, the planning order, so that can be approvable. Now, the fourth pillar, which is the financial feasibility, which ethics surveys and valuers, they call viability. Now, the financial feasibility is based on this concept: revenue minus your total development cost is your profit. Profit at times is called margin, and at times is called markup. Margin refers to profit expressed as a percentage of the revenue, while markup is also profit expressed as a percentage of your cost or cost of sales. So now, for projects, our revenue sources, they come in 2 ways majorly. Either you sell, which you call outright disposal, or you lease. It means your income comes through rent or through the lease. Then development cost includes the land, development advisory, legal, consultants fees, various tests, material tests, geotechnical, concrete tests, all that. Then statutory approval, tendering too is part of your cost, construction, then project monitoring depending on your procurement method. It's also a great cost, which has to be factored in. Then finance cost, your disposal fee, facilitation fee, inflation, contingency. So the question we need to ask ourselves is that, is the margin sufficient for Nigerian risk environment? That's one. Then 2, what's the investor's expected return on investment? I need to say that money goes to where it's most valued. I can't see an investment that pays 10% return on investment and another one pays 50% return on investment, and I'll say, is that 10% I want to put my money on? Nobody does that. And that's why Nigerians are being scammed by different Ponzi schemes like MMM and several others, because they want high returns on investment. So that question has to be asked: is the return sufficient? Is it attractive? Before you go ahead. Now, another key thing under feasibility is what we call ABU, highest and best use analysis. By definition, in line with International Validation Standard 2025, ABU is defined as the most profitable, legally permissible use of an asset. And to test it, there are 4 tests which you need to carry out. 1, is it legally permissible? Is it in line with the code? That's 1. 2, physically possible. Is it buildable? Is it constructible based on soil topography? Then 3, financial feasibility. The proposed use must generate sufficient income or value to justify the cost of development and provide a fair return. Then lastly, maximally productive. Among all uses that pass the first 3 tests, the one that results in the highest value or highest risk-adjusted return is ABU. This ABU is a concept of real estate that helps us to maximize value when it comes to land. Oftentimes you see people buy land, and probably because they don't have adequate funds, a land that can take development of, let's say, 10 floors. But because the client does not have money, he can only afford 3 floors. And he feels, okay, let's do 3 floors. Whereas he can go 10 floors. The unrealized profit for not developing the 7 additional floors, it's a great loss to the client. And this is where I feel, as architects or as professionals, let's ensure we get highest and best use for every land. With it, if the client can only afford, let's say, 2 or 3 floors, we can package the investment, look for people, put resources together, develop the 10 floors, and out of the 10 floors, the 3 floors goes to the client. In fact, the profit from the investment can even pay off the 3 floors, the initial 3 floors the client wants to design. So I think as architects, we should be thinking in this direction. So our role is that we should advise landowners, developers on ABU before design begins for commercial real estate. And data on absorption rates, typology, demand rates, rental, capital value, construction costs, risks, among other things, will be deployed for various design options in determining ABU. Then we have the yield and density optimization. Yield measures the anticipated annual return on investment, net of outgoings, expressed as a percentage of total development. Density refers to the physical concentration of development on a piece of land, such as number of units, floor area, or building. We're all familiar with this. So the main thing here is we want to look at factors that affect yield and density optimization. The factors are 4, and they are plot ratio testing, efficiency ratio analysis, parking strategy impact, then core positioning. Now, design decisions directly have influenced financial performance. So let's look at the factors affecting density. One of it is plot ratio testing. Plot ratio refers to the gross floor area of your building divided by site area, and determines how much buildable area is allowed. Now, the insight here about floor ratio is that density underutilization, if you don't optimize your density, you are losing revenue. And let's look at this example. Now, you have an area of a site area, a land area of 2,000 square meters. Your plot ratio permissible is 4, which means your maximum GFA, gross floor area, is 8,000 square meters. So let's look at scenario A. I hope we can see the screen.
Yes, we can. It's clear. We can.
Okay. So for scenario A, which is a conservative design, out of the 8,000 GFA, you develop 6,500. It means you're now utilizing 1,500. Now, that 1,500 that you didn't cover or that you didn't develop, if you look at a projected revenue of 650,000 per square meter, a development cost of 40,000 square meter, which gives us a margin of 200,000 per square meter. Now, that 200 per square meter times that 1,500 that you didn't develop, it gives you a margin loss of 300 million in unrealized value. So, Scenario B, which is an optimized density, where you have your full 8,000, you have your proper stacking, you have efficient core, and optimized parking. You realize that money, so you get more profit, more value from it. So strategic lesson is that architectural strategy directly affects or protects your development yield. So we should learn to maximize our density. Two is the efficiency ratio. Efficiency ratio is calculated like this. You look at your sellable or lettable area, net. You divide it by the total gross floor area of your building. And that measures how much of the building generates income. Our goal as architect is to maximize the efficiency of our building. At the beginning of this slide, I showed you two buildings, B1 and B2 of King's Towers. One was more efficient than the other. And due to that, there was a loss of 11.8 billion, 11.8 billion for the same cost in value due to inefficiency. So it's important we are efficient in our design. And these are common features of inefficiencies in our designs. One is, as architects, we make use of oversized lobbies. We want to express, we feel like, oh, let me create an awe experience, a very unique experience in this lobby. I want to create a lobby that will make people think that, oh, they are in heaven while they are on earth. You know, all those kind of experience. Well, it's good, but we need to consider efficiency. Then long double loaded corridors, poor structural grids lead to awkward room sizes, reduced efficiencies, dead corners, among other things. This is common when we architects when we use some building forms. You combine your circular with triangular. At the end of the day, there are several dead spaces. There are several unusable spaces. And remember that those spaces that are unusable, you are building it, you are spending money, and most times they can't generate return. And let me say this: for commercial projects, cost is only relevant when it generates revenue. For commercial projects, if your cost is not generating revenue, then it's not relevant. So architects should think again about some of their decisions. Again, excessive service spaces like oversized plant rooms, redundant service corridors, poor stacking. Then again, use of double and triple volume spaces. Oh, I know we like that. Always like creating a very unique environment, create double volume. Double volume, triple volume leads to loss of spaces. And my opinion on this is that if you make a space double volume or triple volume, you must ensure that that space generates double or triple revenue to compensate for your design. If it's not, I think it does not make sense. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use double or triple volume, but to just try and just limit the use. So strategic lesson here is that design elegance must not compromise sellability, and double volume should be double profit. I've mentioned that. Then parking strategy impact. Parking most times is underestimated in what we do in our designs. Architecture implications, we need to decide, is it basement parking? Is it podium or surface? Mechanical parking versus conventional, then parking to unit ratio. This is really important. There are times, in fact, people build houses, they maximize, under the concept of they maximizing spaces. They forgot that people will drive their cars. In fact, I can't see where somebody will buy a house of 30 million above, and you won't provide at least 2 parking spaces. So all this has to be considered. And there is a note at that side, which is another parking issues with Denmark properties in Ajah, Dubai, UAE. A property subscriber bought a property and they were having issues with parking. This is in Dubai. Somebody bought a property and they didn't allocate parking for him. So they allocated parking. He has to move 10 minutes away from the house. Let me just read part of the person's complaint. A friend of mine purchased a unit from Damak Properties in Ajan. Upon handover, we were surprised to discover that the allocated parking space for the unit was not within the same building. Can you imagine that? But instead located in a neighboring building, requiring approximately a 10-minute walk. So it means that you park in a place, you walk 10 minutes. probably they want the people or the users to be fit, but that's not a good. It's not a good design consideration. Now, I read further. After many years of continuous follow-up, we were informed that there were no available parking spaces within the building. However, this explanation was contradicted by the fact that Denmark Properties was actively advertising and leasing extra parking spaces in the same building. So the developer, Denmark, was looking at how to generate money from parking, and he left the property subscriber. So strategic lesson is that overparking, it reduces your yield. Then underparking, it reduces your marketability. So architect, you must balance regulatory compliance and your financial logic. This. Then our core position, we all know what core is. Our core positioning too is really important because it influences your efficiency ratio, your structural grid, vertical stacking, corridor length, natural lighting, unit configuration, flexibility. So summary and conclusion for this model is that architectural decisions influence gross development value, which is the value of the development. It influences your development margin, your return on investment, absorption rate, your capitalized asset value. So in conclusion, yield and density optimization is not only a technical exercise, it's a financial strategy executed through architecture, because we are the creator of spaces. So when you are shortening your corridors, you are also optimizing your grid, you are repositioning your core for efficiency, you are adjusting your unit mix in line with market demands, you are capturing full plot ratio. Just note that you are not just adjusting drawings, you are reshaping capital performance. So module 3, which is understanding the business case. Oh, my time is fast, man. Investment decision framework, risk assessment, funding logic. So let's dive into this quickly. The business case is a structured document that justifies initiating a project, a program, or a portfolio, and it provides the evidence-based reasoning, including financial and non-financial benefit, risk, and costs, required to convince, that's the word, required to convince decision makers that a project is a sound investment. And it's considered a business document rather than a project document, and it's typically developed before the project charter, serving as a foundational justification for project initiation. So developers and financials, they evaluate your IRR, your MPV, development margin. I think we've discussed this earlier. Architect must understand what investors sees. So risk assessment, strategic risk management. The common risk we have in Nigerian real estate infrastructure industry are your cost escalation. We all know that prices go up, inflation, your foreign exchange exposure, especially when you are importing a lot of materials from abroad, regulatory delay, market downturn, liquidity constraints. So for you to be strategic, what you need to do is your design has to be efficient. There should be a realistic forecasting and provision of inflation in your cost. You must consider the future forecast. Then you reduce the use of imported materials via your specifications, design compliance with regulations, then carrying out market research prior to design to guide your typology mix. So on the funding logic, generally we have about 3 levels of capital for projects. We have the equity, the debt, the mezzanine finance. Now, lenders usually they require feasibility validation, a clear cash flow schedule, and a strong buffer. Now, architects, they must understand how designs affect bankability. Bankability refers to the extent to which a project is considered financially viable, low risk, and capable of repaying debt with acceptable returns. Architects who understand bankability, they design projects that lenders, investors, and institutional buyers are willing to finance. So as much as possible, once it comes to financial project, let our projects be bankable so that we won't waste our effort on doing preliminary designs on construction drawings that won't fly. Architects, through your design, you influence your revenue, the cost, the risk, the value, and the exit. Therefore, good designs increases valuation. Efficient designs increases your cash flow. Then practical designs, it reduces risk. All these three, they increase bankability. Still on our business case, let's quickly look at the sequencing in project lifecycle. Traditionally, for commercial projects, they acquire land. Once they acquire land, they do their feasibility. From the result of the feasibility, they know whether they can go ahead with the project. A business case is prepared. With the business case, they go ahead, go or no go. That's the decision there. Now, if it's a good decision, at that point in time, they now assemble team and say, okay, architect, QS, project team, yeah, come on, this is what we intend doing. Now, let me say this. Before that good decision is taken, a financial model would have been done to optimize profit. So the financial model would have dictated that for this project, I can't pay architects or professionals more than this. On this project, I can't pay more than this for procurement. I can't pay more than that. So at that point in time, when they now engage you as consultant, you can't be telling them, oh, this is my fee. You are not paying my fee. No, because the project inputs have been dictated. And that is why we, as development strategists, instead of coming in when somebody has decided on the project, we can come in at the land acquisition stage. At that stage, our influence on the project will be great. We'll have more influence. And because we have more influence, we can tilt things to our favor, not forgetting the profitability of the project. And with it, we become more strategic and more influential. So strategic architects, they are engaged at the land acquisition or feasibility stage, not after business case. So module 4, which is the financial intelligence for architects, the basics are development appraisal basics, key financial metrics, sensitivity analysis, design to budget optimization. So let's quickly just look at it. Development appraisal basics, I think I've discussed this earlier. We have a projected revenue. We have the estimated development cost. Revenue minus development cost gives us our projected profit. Also, you need to consider the timing of the cash flow, the time value of money, the capital structure, among other things. Now, key financial metrics are these: return on investment. Now, if you are measuring return on investment, any return that is not time bound is not a return on investment. And that's how a lot of developers, they scam a lot of people. They will tell you, buy land, buy this. It gives you 300% return on investment. But the time period is not stated. 300% on investment, is it within 1 month? Is it 2 months? So that's how people are being scammed. People just hear the percentage, 300%, they go and put their money, and at the end of the day, they lose their investment. So we have your RRR, MPV, payback period, development margin yield. Now, architects don't need to be bankers, but we must just understand these metrics, because this metrics makes our projects more attractive to our clients. So sensitivity analysis, this is because we live in an unstable environment. Things change, and because things change, we want to know what will be the effect of the changes on our projected profit. So we'll test variables like, okay, our revenue, okay, if our revenue comes down by a certain percentage, what will be the effect on our gross profit? If our cost goes up by a certain percentage, what will be the effect on our projected revenue? So sensitive analysis, it reveals the hidden margin vulnerability. It helps us to know the risk level of an investment before we put our money in there. So design to budget optimizations, I've spoken on this earlier. Then module 5, which is the last part, and I think this will be the most interesting part of this presentation, which is the practice integration. Now, creating a development advisory service line, architectural firms or architects, they can offer the following services. One, pre-acquisition land analysis. When your clients even buys land, architects can come in and advise on the best location that would maximize their return on investment. And because of doing this, you sell the land, you collect your commission. It can be less than 5% on that. Apart from your advisory too, you make money. This is not design money now. You make that one. Now, feasibility coordination and reporting too. You make your money there too. Then yield studies, development strategy advisory. You make your money there. This is not even design. You not come to design now. Then business case support. This expands revenue beyond design fees. Now, including financial appraisal in preliminary design report for commercial projects to sell architectural concept feature, I think it's important. I do that. If I have a design project, I include financials. So the financials stirs up my client's interest in the project, and then it makes them committed to it. When you see that, okay, you're doing a design and you have a project, and the project yields about let's say 50% through disposal, through sales, or it gives an annual yield of around 10-12% in addition to capital appreciation. So all this would attract investors. Now, again, I need to say this, that most commercial projects, they are means to an end, meaning that they are actually, the clients or developers, they are actually not interested in that building that they are commissioning you to do, or in that infrastructure project they want you to be involved. What they are interested in is the money. They're interested in the money, but that money won't come without that your designs. So, like I said, is a means to an end. So fees for strategic services, the fee models, they are, I mentioned for, though they can be more than that. You can have a fixed advisory fee. You can also have a retainer model. You can have a success link fee. You can have equity participation. I like the equity participation concept. Since most people don't want to pay money, just tell the client, come, okay, this is the value of my service. Well, don't pay me. We enter into a contract. My service will form an equity into the project. And once the project starts, this will be my percentage share in your return on investment. And I think that will interest a lot of developers, and a lot of firms too will make more money on the long run from pursuing such projects. Then fee basis, man-hour basis, or percentage of total development cost, which is usually about 2.5 to 10% based on the value. So strategic knowledge commands higher value. So risk mitigation for firms, why this matters internally is that you need to avoid underpriced projects. You need to reduce reward from unrealistic brief, protect your professional liability, then strengthen negotiation power, improve your client trust, identify and engage the right professionals for support. Financial awareness reduces firms' exposure. So in closing, architecture in Nigeria is evolving. The architect who understands feasibility, investment logic, financial risk, and development strategy will not only design buildings, but shape decisions. Strategic development competence is the new professional currency. So thank you very much for your time. And thanks to the management of Anchor for this opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Architect Shomi Williams, for that insightful and very instructive conversation of the architect positioning himself or herself as a strategic development expert. This is an eye-opener to how we can influence the overall project value, both for us and the building owner in that regards. Okay, we are to, please let us, we can use the virtual clap reactions. Just go to reactions and to clap for our guest speaker, Architect Shomi, if you so desire, because that is quite a ton of load of information, of relevant information that will help the scalability of our practice in question. Thank you so much. Thank you for those reactions. Thank you so much. So I think at this point we are the questions and answer, but before we enter into that, I just want to do a summary of the highlights of the conversations from Architect Shomi's presentation. He says efficiency is key value in property decisions. Your efficiency in design efficiency is key in value decisions. Yeah, it says financial literacy for an architect is now a professional necessity. It's not just being able to design very aesthetically pleasing or functional designs, but being able to integrate financial literacy in how we scale our practice in the area of commercial developments. That we're talking about, because this financial literacy is driven by ROIs, return on investment, cash flow timing, cost volatility, risk allocation, absorption, and all of that. And also, he said creativity without financial literacy loses strategic influence. We can be very creative architects, but if there is no financial literacy integrated and incorporated into our decision, we can lose design influence, which is a very strategic aspect of how we can be paid well in terms of fees and all of that. It says for commercial projects, the architect needs to realize the demands of the owner that is seen from the owner, the investor's view, not from your own view as an architect. When we are talking of commercial projects, you look into thinker with the view, the need of the investor rather than your own design orientation or your own design preferences in that regards. It says for commercial projects, the architect needs to, look at this. I particularly like this. It said a 5% efficiency loss on design will impact on the profitability of investment value. Just a 5%, when he was doing a comparative between those two buildings, a 5% loss can impact negatively on the design profitability of the investment in question. He said also design elegance must not compromise sellability. Design elegance must not compromise sellability, efficiency in speculative development. Architects must balance. I'll stop here. There are so many. It says architects must balance regulatory compliance and financial logic in commercial projects. So thank you so much once again for that quite exhaustive conversation and eye-opener in that regard. So this is where we move over to the Q&A. So please, if you have questions, briefly, we are moving to the finish time. This is 3 p.m. already, so we are still within good keeping with our time. Questions, please, questions. But if you so desire that you want to speak, you can raise up your virtual hand and we will unmute you from here. Okay, I think there are questions in the chat box. There are questions, I believe, in the chat box. 17 new questions. Okay, just saying thank you, sir. Okay, the message is that, okay, an attendee is giving his own, the message is that architects must be T-skilled. Project management in the broad sense, including competence in project viability, feasibility appraisals must be second nature of the architect. Architect Williams said most clients only understand return, revenue, profit, value in numbers. Is that what you said, architect? Can you confirm that? Architect, show me.
I want to get the question again, sir.
No, it's not a question. It's alluding to what you said. Is
Okay.
alluding, yeah, that's Olajumoke Akimi. That's an attendee's,
Okay.
yes, her own insight into your
Okay.
conversation.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. There's an attendee having a question here.
Yes, she's perfectly right. I'm reading it.
Yes.
Yes,
There's
Madam.
a question.
Okay. Oh, I hope she's not the Alitalia MD. If she's the one, I would like her to speak. Architect Olajumoke, if she's the one.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, madam.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, ma. It's a pleasure to have you on board.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing. I appreciate it.
Okay, ma. Thank you, ma.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, there's a question. It says, there's a question from an attendee. It says, can this strategic architecture be applied to residential projects?
Yes, if the project is for commercial purpose, like I said at the beginning of this class, that our focus is for commercial real estate. Commercial real estate is built generally to generate revenue. Revenue can be in form of rental revenue, can be in form of sales, or it can be for business purposes. So that's the goal. But if the residential unit is strictly for owner-occupier, this class or this training does not make sense, it's not relevant, it's not applicable. But for residentials that are of commercial purpose, is highly applicable, like housing estates, like condominiums, and stuff like that. It's really important.
Is there a question? Okay, there's another question, I believe. Thank you from an attendee. Says, thank you so much, sir, for the insightful session. The first question is, he said, must we study as much as you, must we study as much as you to achieve all you have taught? Then second question, he said, and concerning financial literacy, where can we get it? Did you get that question?
Yes, I get that question. Well, you don't need to be an accountant before you are financially literate. Through some courses. In fact, one of the things I'm discussing with the management is that in a couple of weeks, we'll be developing some short courses for professionals who are interested in financial literacy. So through those short courses, you can update yourself. You don't need to be an accountant. You don't need to be a financial analyst. With those short courses, you acquire the necessary training competence to make you take logical financial decisions. So you don't have to go through all the rigors of being an accountant. So thank you, sir, for your response, sir, and the question.
All right, I believe the attendee got that very much. So just look at on an Anchor platform for this as we proceed, and we'll put out the information, requisite information and announcement to that regards to the short courses that will be rolling out in the course of time, in regards to financial literacy and how you can use that to scale what you do in your practice as an architect, a strategic architect in terms of development, with regards to commercial development. Okay, I think, do we have any other question? Is there one? Not yet. Please, this is the time to field our questions, please. Kindly drop your questions. This is a Q&A session. Okay, those short courses will be great. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Yes, that's just a comment. You can drop your questions, please. Yeah, Akise, show me, you want to say something?
Yes, I want to appreciate some of my attendees.
Okay.
Permission to do that.
Please go ahead.
Okay, firstly, I can see one of my bosses online, Architect Alesh. Okay, I salute you, sir. I worked with him in Kanu in 2000. He's a very fantastic architect. I salute you, sir. I can see the chairman of the board of trustees of Anchor, Architect Justus Okave. I salute you, sir. I can see Architect Niyo Tegbade, my coach, mentor. I salute you, sir. I can see my dear friend, Architect Sonia Wolabi online, Architect Mary Dasat, then Architect Yemi Shola Adebi, I can NIA Abuja chair. I salute you, madam. I saw NIA PRO Architect Agatha Christie too online. I greet all of you. You're welcome and appreciate your presence. Over to you, PRO.
Thank you very much to all our esteemed attendees, our distinguished attendees from across walks of life here, because we can see now we don't just have the architects alone here. Okay, at this point, while we're still awaiting questions, okay, there's a question. Okay, from where, let me see, where's that? Let's see. Okay, from Damilola Davis. Okay, can one consider this even for a school project? Probably offering the options of leasing out spaces for events, in bracket, multi-purpose spaces from library or something like that, sir. Did you get that question?
Yes, I got it. Yes, for a school project, it's a commercial project. So you can make use of these principles by optimizing your spaces for the school. Remember too that for school, which is a business purpose now for business purposes, it goes beyond this, because what I'm saying so is that the revenue from business, well, you can easily define that for a school as money they pay as fees, but the cost now, because it is being operationalized, is not only development costs now that you need to consider. You need to consider operation costs for the school. And operation costs for the school, you have to start going towards the accounting side, charging what we call depreciation on a yearly basis. You need to consider taxation. You need to consider your staff salaries, your payees, and all those things as part of your what we call SG&E, selling and general administration expenses. So it goes beyond beyond what we have discussed here. So it's applicable to schools.
So, I mean, with what you said, Architect Shome, I think we should really anticipate the short courses, because that will really enhance what we do as architects, being strategic in nature. Okay, there's an attendee's remark here. That's Architect Utasa. He says this lecture comes across as a master class in the business of architecture, MBA.
Oh, thanks, Architect Utasha.
So we are looking forward to those short courses. Actually, we reference it as a master in business of architecture. Yeah, so that does a lot. Yeah, thank you. So while we are waiting for more questions, I'll just want our chairman board of trustee, anchor chairman board of trustee, I believe is still in this on this call, to kindly lend his voice to this conversation in the person of Architect Justus Oka Avai. You're welcome, sir. Kindly unmute yourself, sir. I'm trying to look for him. Is this our BOT chairman, sir? Is it there? Okay. He's not there. Okay, I think he's probably on. Okay. He's not there. Okay, I thought you said you saw him.
Yes, I saw him online.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do we have more questions, please, while we're at it? So before we draw the curtains on this conversation, on this call for the day, any more questions? Okay. Okay, while we're at that, Architect Shomi, can you just reiterate more on efficiency being key in value in property decision? Yes.
Yes,
I'd like you to do a recap on that.
Okay. Why architects need to be efficient in their spaces? is that spaces, they generate revenue. So if you are inefficient with it, it simply means that spaces that should have generated revenue is not generating revenue and is only generating cost. Meaning that you are having a cost that does not bring in revenue. It means that cost is not irrelevant, it's not an important cost. So efficiency is highly important to us as architects. We must ensure that our spaces are highly efficient. And the moment our spaces are highly efficient, in fact, investors, developers, they will really like it. In fact, because they will know that that building has more value. Like the scenario of those two buildings, B1 and B2, same building, same floor area, meaning that same construction cost. But one is more valuable than the other because of efficiency. In fact, the 11.2 billion difference in value, enough, is highly significant. So it's something that as architects, we really need to consider when it comes to commercial real estate, commercial property. Efficiency should be the key. Efficiency should be. So that's it, sir.
Thank you so much for the recap on that very salient point there. Okay, I think I've cited our BOT chairman, Anchor BOT chairman, Architect Justus of Carvi. Sir, can you kindly lend your voice to this conversation? I've asked you on mute. Kindly unmute, sir. Our BOT chairman, sir. Can you kindly unmute? I've asked that you kindly unmute, sir. We can hear you, sir. Oh, there. Okay. 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 All right. Okay, there's this point I also love that you made, which is expanding professional services and also ensuring that this affects fees in a more, let me use your word, efficient way. It says architects as development strategists should engage at the land acquisition or feasibility stage,
Yes.
not after the business case.
Yes.
You want to speak to that? You want to speak to that?
Yes, let me say this. Most times before we are engaged, somebody has done some background work, most times. And part of the background work is that somebody will have acquired land. Somebody will have advised the client that, okay, this is sort of architect you should engage. Somebody will have advised that, okay, this is the sort of building you should bring. And somebody will have advised that, this is the amount of money you should pay for professional service. But all this background work, somebody has done it, but we are not aware of it. So by the time they now call us, when we get there, we present our fees, our fees, our scale of fees, this and this, 7.5% of this and this. But within them, they know that this project can actually pay that. Are you getting it? And to add to that, that person that has been doing that background work has made some money that the architect or the consultant should have even made, either through commissioning in selling land, either through bringing people doing tests, getting commissions from them. So at the end of the day, you discover that the architect that should have been the master builder initially, and that should have made money across board, across all services, will now be struggling and fighting for architectural service fee, which the client might not even pay the standard or the right professional fees. So that's why the earlier we come in, the better for us as architects. And the more the influence we can have on the project. If you come in at that land acquisition stage, a lot of decisions will be guided by the architect. And in you making those decisions, you're also making money too. So that's the perspective I'm looking at.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Architect Shomi, for that perspective. Very key, very important, and very strategic in the scheme of things, both ways. Okay, there's a question. Yes, there's an attendee. He's asking if the slides can be made available, because it's your intellectual property. So he wants to know if your slides will be shared, will be made available.
Okay, we'll try and send it to the attendees as long as you register properly with your email.
Oh, there was
Architect
no
Timothy Karim, I greet you. Architect Timothy Karim, I salute you.
There was no registration. It was a free entry.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh. So that would be difficult.
Maybe if the file size is not too large, we can share it on our platform. If it's not too large, we can share it on our platform.
Okay, but for those not on the platform, how do they get it?
Then we'll rely on the judgment and the kindness of those who are on the platform to share with those who are not on the platform, since you have given your consent to that.
Okay, it's okay.
Is that okay with you?
No, it's okay. I'm fine with that.
All right, thank you very much.
Architect Francis Okoye, I greet you. Architect Ikechukwu, I salute you.
Okay, at this point.
Architect Jonathan, Architect Chinelo.
Okay.
So my PRO, sir, over to you, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Architect Shomi, for this very insightful and instructive delivery on the architect as strategist in development issues and concerns. Thank you very much. I think at this point, we are really close to the finish time of our conversation with this four, which is even good time to draw the curtains. Once again, on behalf of the Anchor Management, I want to thank Architect Shomi Williams for being part of this laudable knowledge sharing experience. We thank you so much. We thank you so much. We appreciate that. And on behalf of Anchor Management, we want to say thank you. And to all our esteemed attendees, we want to say thank you too for being part of this conversation, for being on this call till this very time. Okay, the president is still here. Our president,
I can see him online.
Yes, he's still here. Please, our president, Architect Dr. Omasone, Noyo Omasone, kindly unmute, sir. Please, can you help me unmute him? Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Hello?
We can hear you, sir.
Yeah, Anchor Dede. Well, you see how the regulations. I want to thank, on behalf of the Chair, Board of Trustees of Anchor, the Management and Council of Anchor, and every participant of this event, especially Shomi Williams. We appreciate you very well and very much for your delivery. Again, we want to reiterate the goal of Anchor. Anchor is geared towards empowering the architects, ensuring the architect, the Nigerian architect, can stand his ground, ensuring that the regulator is allowed to perform his rightful duties and to regulate the profession, just like what Koren is doing. We don't want ACON
I think you
empower the architect, the average Nigerian architect. We are doing this thing free. It's not as if we are not sacrificing. We are sacrificing everything you think can be sacrificed. And Boduri, I thank you very much for, in spite of the challenges you are facing, I thank you for your favor, for your strength, for your resilience. And it is only the Almighty God that will replenish you in every aspect of it. Show me, I'll beg you. Your head is full of eggs.
My president, sir.
So
My
please,
president, sir.
Boduri, we are supposed to be doing, I thought we said, was it supposed to be weekly webinar or fortnight webinar or at least once a month? We're paying for this website. We're not using anchor money to pay for this website to do these things. We've not been using anchor money to ensure that ACON is allowed to do its rightful assignment, rightful duty to Nigerian architects and to Nigerians as a whole. There's a group of people here. I'm not on my own platform. That is why maybe they thought I was not here. I thank the rector, my brother of Moshood Abiola, Dr. Okoye Jola-Oshu. I thank everybody. Please bring up topics on our platform that we can use to discuss and better the values, the space of the Nigerian architects. God bless us all.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, my president, sir.
Thank you. It's always good hearing your voice, sir. We appreciate that. And there you have it, Architect Shomi. That is a presidential directive engaging us in more stimulating conversations, intellectually stimulating conversations, which can impact the sellability and the scalability of the architect's practice in question in Nigeria and beyond, and so, which will help also reposition our practices both individually and corporately in the space of the built environment. So, Architect Shomi, the directive is rested on your shoulder. We'll work together. We'll put heads together. But your own heads, like the president said, is full of eggs. So we rely on more of the eggs on you.
No problem, sir.
Okay, so while we're at it, thank you so much, sir. While we're at it, please, we can relive this conversation on Anchor YouTube channel. So we can replay it. It's right there. It's going to be uploaded once the conversation it comes to an end. So it's going to be there. You can go back there and relive the conversation and listen to it over again and internalize all that has been said, and in your own little way begin to adopt and integrate these conversations into what you do as an architect in practice. So at this point, I think we have it there. Sir, Mr. President, sir, Dr. Omasoni, sir, at your directive, do we have the go-ahead to end this webinar now, sir? Could you just let us know, do we have the go-ahead to end this webinar? We're ending in good time if we do now. Sir, do we have your permission? Do we have your permission? Yes, sir?
Yes, thank you very much. The permission is hereby granted on behalf of the BOT chair, who is actually here with us.
Oh, fantastic. Our regards to him, sir. All right. Thank you very much, sir, for giving us the... Okay, there's a question for giving us this opportunity to learn, to relearn and unlearn what we think we have known. And we appreciate the platform of Anchor, the body Anchor, Association of Nigerian Chartered Architects. Okay, there's a question. Architect Shomi, are you still there? There's a question.
Yes, I'm there.
Okay. There's a question from an attendee. He said, as Mr. Davis suggested, can we be having the meeting at intervals of months or weeks to help the architects with little insights? Okay, we'll work out that modalities. We'll work out. Let's put up a structure to that regard, and when that is in place, we'll do the needful by passing the information as it's the requisite information on a needful basis to that effect. I think that's okay, Architect Shomi.
Yes, yes, okay. Yes, Architect Hamza Moreover, I greet you, sir.
So I'd implore all, and both on this call and also kindly lend the voice, to keep your dial locked in on the Anchor platforms so that all the information with regards to all these short courses, all this weekly, all this, how we put it together, you will be put out there on the platform announcement there. So thank you once again, Anchor Management, Board of Trustee Chairman, the Board of Trustee members, the management of Anchor. We thank you so much, sir. We thank you so much, sir. Also to our guest speaker, our erudite guest speaker, Architect Shomi Williams. And from this venue where we are hosting the platform, I say I approve of this conversation. It's good to go. And thank you once again, and see you all very soon, very shortly. Thank you. Actually, Shomi, do you have a last word? Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much for attending, for sparing your time. And it's a great pleasure to have you for this webinar. I wish you all a very great weekend ahead. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Okay, thank you so much, Architect Shomi. From our end, we say thank you and keep learning, keep scaling, and reposition yourself as an architect, and the sky will not be your limit. Thank you so much, and God bless. Thank God.